First, live, local, now on Channel 3 News.
Right now, two developing stories. A barge hits the Brooks Bridge, sending water spewing and creating a traffic problem.
It's bumper to bumper.
The latest on what's being done to get the bridge back open.
But first, a deputy is shot in Pensacola.
We are working both of those developing stories at this hour.
We begin with breaking news, though, in Escambia County. An Escambia Sheriff's deputy was shot tonight in the Scenic Hills area of Pensacola. That was about 2 hours ago. The sheriff's office tells us he was hit in the leg and is in surgery as we speak at the hospital, but he is expected to recover. Now, two suspects are reportedly in custody. Deputies are still on the scene, but Burning Tree Road, where it all went down, is closed right now while law enforcement investigate. Channel 3's Joe Douglas is on the scene, and he joins us now live on the phone. Joe, what can you tell us?
Good evening, Molly. Well, we are hearing that Sheriff David Morgan is actually at Sacred Heart Hospital right now, where that deputy is reportedly in surgery right now, and he is expected to be all right. There were two people that are in custody right now. We're at the 8800 block of that road, and right now it is shut down. There are deputies here investigating at the scene. Folks who live nearby say they heard a flurry of gunfire at around 8 o'clock tonight. Before that, they said they saw deputies in the neighborhood, in the area, up to some kind of activity. We don't know exactly what they were up to at this point, but they say they did hear a flurry of gunfire. Now, it's customary that the Florida Department of Law Enforcement investigates any time there is an officer-involved shooting. But for now, the news is that that deputy is okay and he's expected to make it, and that there are two people in custody. Molly, Will?
All right, thank you, Joe. And the sheriff's office has not released the name of the deputy who was injured tonight or the two people that they have in custody, but we're going to continue to follow the story, and we'll bring you the latest just as soon as we get it.
Tonight, we are also following the newest developments with the damage to Brooks Bridge. Water spewed. You see it here from a water line that's attached to the bridge in Fort Walton Beach. This is video from YouTube taken by Lauren Barkley. A barge and a crane on that barge hit the bridge. It's a little after 3 o'clock this afternoon.
And the barge was carrying a crane, and that's actually what struck the bridge and damaged it. Water lines that are attached to that bridge, you can see them damaged there. They were broken, gushing water this afternoon, and that is the main source of water to Okaloosa Island. So they've been asking residents there all day to conserve water. Fortunately, no injuries as a result of this accident.
Engineers from the Florida Department of Transportation were inspecting the damage, making repairs throughout the afternoon.
And right now at 10, here's what we know. Traffic is moving. One lane in each direction is now open. Repairs are being made. That water line connected to Okaloosa Island, the one that's broken, is expected to be repaired tomorrow. Channel 3's Christina Leavenworth has been on this story all night, and she joins us now live from the Brooks Bridge with the latest. Christina?
And after 6 hours, traffic is finally flowing in both directions, but the eastbound side of the bridge remains closed. They're doing repairs right now. The water main is expected to be repaired tomorrow, but boy, was it a mess out here today. It took some people several hours to get home, while others just didn't want to deal with the traffic. They just hung out here by the bridge.
It's frustrating. It's hard with a 5-year-old, but she's been great.
Sherry Anderson decided to take her granddaughter to the movies today, but she had no idea she'd be stuck out here for hours.
There was traffic, and I said, oh, let's just pull over. So we pulled over and went, oh, it's really traffic, because there's no traffic on the bridge at all. We have a place right on the island, just right over the bridge. We could walk, but they're not letting us walk.
They've made the most of it and have camped out with many others at the base of the bridge. But others realized it the hard way. There was massive traffic any way they went.
It's bumper to bumper, so someone told me to take the Eglin traffic. So I tried it and went all the way down to the base, and it was backed up all the way going into Niceville. I turned around and tried to go the other way down by the airport. That was blocked. Came back up, seen that traffic was backed up all the way up to Cinco Bayo. And so I decided just to come back up here to see if I could park, because I live right across the bridge.
When the bridge finally reopened for traffic heading westbound, there was hope that they could also soon cross.
Running right up into that bridge.
But they were still stuck. Fortunately, some good Samaritans stepped up to shuttle people back by boat.
We just happened to be at the right place at the right time, so if anybody needs help getting over, we're on a pontoon boat right down there.
As far as when the entire bridge will open, no estimated time has been given, but we have heard speculation that it should be open sometime tomorrow morning. So you may expect some traffic in this area. And as far as the water restriction, that will remain in place while the water main is repaired. And Laura Hussey does have more with our team coverage from the foot of the bridge.
I'm Channel 3's Laura Hussey. We're at the western foot of the Brooks Bridge, and behind me is a scene that drew hundreds of onlookers throughout the afternoon and evening. They came to see the barge that hit the Brooks Bridge, and there it is. Now, specifically, it was that crane in the very front of the barge that took the impact. It's broken now into about 3 sections. And moving over to the bridge itself, some dramatic damage. A section of guardrail was taken out that was probably 15 or 20 feet long. And if you see that pipe running underneath the guardrail, that's the main water line to Okaloosa Island. It was breached. Inspectors from the Florida Department of Transportation spent hours deciding whether the bridge was safe enough for cars to drive on again. Now, all of that said, and of course the huge disruption to traffic taken into account, there is some good news, some more positive notes. There were no injuries, there were no gas leaks, there were no fuel leaks into the water. In Fort Walton Beach, Laura Hussey, Channel 3 News.
And of course, we're going to continue to follow this story as well as the deputy-involved shooting. Stay with Channel 3 News for updates on the web as well as social media. And don't forget, for the latest, join 3 in the morning beginning at 5 a.m.
Guilty. That's the verdict for 33-year-old Shannon Abbott. New at 10, the former employee of the Milton Girls Juvenile Residential Facility was convicted of felony battery charges this afternoon. Now, you may remember there was surveillance video from the facility for troubled girls showing Abbott, a shift supervisor, pushing a teenage girl against a wall. You see it here before pinning that girl to the floor. That incident took place last August. The facility closed down in December. Also new at 10, charges have been upgraded in a child abuse case where a baby was thrown into a crib. Charges against the child's mother, Demetra Johnson, and her boyfriend were upgraded today. Johnson now faces 2 counts of child neglect. Jeffrey Simmons faces charges of second-degree murder and aggravated murder. He is currently being held in the Escambia County Jail with no bond. Deputies say the mother's boyfriend threw the 1-year-old against a crib. That little girl was sent to the hospital with brain and liver injuries and severe bruising as well. She died last week.
A sad case of animal abuse tonight. A cat is expected to survive after it was found bound and severely burned off Mobile Highway in Escambia County this past weekend. A couple saw the cat limping through their neighborhood Saturday. Just look at that poor thing. They brought her into the Humane Society of Pensacola. The 8-month-old feline had second-degree burns to her back and cuts on her sides. Now they're trying to figure out what they can do to help her.
A few different options as well as to plastic surgery and just all kinds of things that we can do. Whatever she needs, you know, is what we're going to do for her.
She looks rough, but she's expected to recover.
First warning weather, powered by Pensacola State College.
We've still got a ways to go, but overnight we've got some chilly temperatures for you. Many of us will see lows in the upper 30s. A little cloud cover, but overall mostly sunny skies for tomorrow with a high of about 65. It's going to be nice out there for tomorrow. A little bit warmer after a cold morning start. Tomorrow not as cold, still a little cool though. And we'll talk about this rain chance and chance for thunderstorms coming up.
Alan, a controlled burn is putting some smoke in southwest Escambia County. A lot of viewers saw this. The burn is near Sofley Field Road. The Northwest Florida Water Management District is burning more than 500 acres there. It's going to be happening over the next 6 weeks, in fact. The idea is to burn off all the underbrush. That way, if a wildfire does spark, it won't spread as quickly.
All right, late this afternoon, a bill was passed in Washington to fund the government through the end of September. The Senate approved that legislation. Also avoids a government shutdown by the end of this month. The House is expected to go along with that decision. They are set to vote on the measure tomorrow. Even though budget concerns may ground the Blue Angels, thousands of fans showed up to catch the Blues practice over NAS Pensacola this morning. They returned home earlier this week from their training in El Centro, California.
They're pretty cool. We didn't tell the kids till today, so they were excited.
I've probably seen them 20 or 30 times, and I still get a lump in my throat every time I see them.
As we all do, the Blues were only planning to fly some basic maneuvers, but they ended up doing more. Maybe it was the big crowd down there. The talk of canceling air shows for this season is giving everyone cause for concern.
They're definitely a symbol of strength and resolve in this country, and you would hope that they would be allowed to perform, throughout the remainder of the year.
According to the Blue Angels website, 7 of their scheduled air show appearances have been canceled already. The status of the rest of the shows still questionable. We're going to continue to following developing stories at this hour,
including an Escambia Sheriff's deputy who was shot earlier tonight in the Scenic Hills area of Pensacola. Deputies have 2 people in custody. We've got new information for you already. We'll have that for you after the break.
Plus, the Brooks Bridge is back open tonight. Repairs are being made as we speak. The bridge was hit by a barge this afternoon. We will continue to follow those stories throughout this newscast. Channel 3 News at 10 continues in just 2 minutes.
Your first choice for Northwest Florida News with 3 in the morning. When it's new.
A Pensacola man has pled guilty for a string of burglaries.
When it's happening now.
An object confiscated during a bomb threat evacuation.
When you need to know what's next.
We've still got more heavy rain to come through.
3 in the morning, tomorrow 5 to 7 a.m.